Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome one, welcome all to SimSpeed TV. You know what night it is. It's Dirt Night, round 11 of the Oceanic Dirt Sim Events Australian Sprintcar Championships. It's the Siclids Lakeland Challenge here at USA International Speedway, a track that is no longer around in the real world, but was one of the first dirt ovals to be released for iRacing. Was never a dirt oval in the real world either. It's one of the tracks that iRacing decided, hey, this short asphalt oval's pretty cool, let's put dirt on it and add it to our dirt content roster. And we certainly love that they did that. This is the longest dirt oval on iRacing. It is flat out practically the whole way round, and it is so much fun. It's like a giant Williams Grove, really, and haven't raced at this place in a very long time. Certainly looking forward to it. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Kick here on SimSpeed TV. It's me, Reese Gardner, with Jay Kennedy alongside me in the commentary box. Jay, it's been a while, but we are back in Lakeland, and I'm looking forward to tonight's racing.
Yeah, as you said, the track no longer around in the real world. It's now an Amazon warehouse, but it's a very, very cool track living on in iRacing, and it should be very, very fun tonight. It's a very, very quick track, as you said, full throttle pretty much the whole way around, running the 410s again tonight. The format will make it interesting, though. A little bit of a smaller field tonight, which will mean that we probably won't see a C main, so the racing will be flying by. You've really got to take advantage of every single minute you're out on track. One mistake could end your night, put you in the B main and out very, very quickly.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be very tough indeed for the drivers with 8-lap heats, a 10-lap B main, and the A main starting order by our redraw with our good friend the Spinny Wheel, a 25-lap A main, which is the shortest in terms of laps that we've ever had so far this season. But in terms of distance, well, man, this circuit really brings it. It's 1.2 Ks long. It's quite long for a dirt oval. I don't think there are any that are this long in the real world.
No, it's like two really long straights, and then the turns are actually a little bit tighter than you expect as well. So it will mean that the racing is very, very fast. Checkered flags just come out on the warm-up, so the drivers are about to get into the quick time session. Before we look at that, though, let's quickly look at the championship. It is getting a bit heated up the top.
Certainly is. Ethan Winter still leads the way, but Tim Ryan has moved to second in the championship. Harry Stewart in third spot. Nathan Vanderwacker didn't have a very good run last time out, so he's fallen to fourth, and it looks like he's about 90 points ahead of Cole Ferguson. Bradley Oldfield stands a chance of catching Cole for that last spot in the top 5, and there's only 3 points separating Brady Baldwin and Sean Stevens. Speaking of Sean Stevens, both he and Tim Ryan have end-of-line penalties that are to be applied for incidents gained last round.
Yeah, so that'll mean that they won't actually put down a lap in this quick time session, which is about to get underway, or has actually got underway. You guys are already out on track. And this will be a very, very fast qualifying quick time session because, as we said, the track, while it is long, it is so fast. Top speed for these cars around about 230 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, and that's lightning fast in a sprint car. You don't see those kinds of speeds anywhere else. For now, it's Harry Stewart who's on top with Jaden Russell in second spot. Some brilliant laps being set down already. Our league admin, Brady Baldwin, moves up to fourth with that lap. His second lap going a little bit better than his first, with Zach Rattray White setting a time good enough for third fastest. Tristan Yellen and Nash Granger getting to 8th and 9th, and Corey Borden having some trouble keeping his car straight. But you really get a sense for how much speed is being taken through these corners, and it looks like Borden has a little bit too much oversteer engineered into the setup. This place, you just keep the throttle pinned and just drag the brake a little bit to get the car turned.
Well, that first lap we were on board with, you saw there again, struggling. It was 2 seconds off the fastest time we've seen, so we're going to see a pretty big split from top to bottom in regards to times in this session. You would think a little bit quicker on the second lap there for Borden. There's Hobson now out to start his first flying lap.
Yep, Brenton Hobson, Hobbo 88, and he's having the same kinds of issues. The car's just not settling down, coming off the corners here. I'm wondering how many drivers are having that exact issue. Seems like, you know, I mean, Lakeland, it's a bit of an irregular oval when it comes to iRacing dirt ovals, and it's very flat, it's very wide, and it's very smooth as well. So I think there might be a couple of different setup approaches being made over the course of the night.
The other part of that too is the corners aren't too heavily banked either. Considering it is a normally a road going oval, it's relatively flat for that type of circuit with some dirt thrown on it. Likes of Bristol is probably a bit of an extreme example, but that's a road course where they've chucked dirt on it, and that is so heavily banked that doesn't matter what line you go on, you're going to find a bit of banking to get you through. But this one is very, very flat through the corners as well, so you're not really finding too much advantage in the corner from finding a different line other than the normal dirt aspects. It's not like a normal traditional oval.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's been a bit of a shake-up in a lot of drivers in the field. Not only do we have Sean Stevenson, Tim Ryan not taking part in the session, but we're also seeing drivers who I'd expect to be a bit further up, like Trent Gosley and Thomas Mitchell, qualifying a bit of a ways down the field. Ethan Winter, the championship leader, the most successful driver so far this season, well, he is comfortably on the quick time position. That's nearly 2/10 that he got on Harry Stewart on his fastest lap. Beautiful stuff. How about Josh Barry? Third spot. He's had a really great upturn of form lately, with Jaden Russell and Zach Rattray White rounding out the top 5.
Surprising with how much of a gap we saw at the start of that session, how tight the times are, especially in that second half of that top 10. It was very, very tight there. Berkeley, Schultz, Noonan, Oldfield, all, less than 1/10 of a second separating them. So very, very close, but we're ready to get into the first heat of the night.
Oh, we are. It is time, and 8 cars, or 7 rather, will be taking to the start of this one. Ethan Winter and Zach Rattray White on the front row there, with John Schultz and Casey Simons on row 2. Nathan Norman and Luke Payton round out our top 6, and all on his lonesome at the back will be Corey Borden. Hopefully he'll be able to find something in his car to settle it down off the corners, because watching his onboard in the quick time certainly didn't look fun to drive.
No, it was pretty hectic, wasn't it? It wasn't the most enjoyable looking thing to drive, but different setups potentially for the drivers with qualifying and race setups, so we'll see how that looks. And also being reminded, I had to update numbers for the Vermilion drivers. They've all got different looks tonight, so look out for them. Running black and gold tonight. Gold always does stand out, and you can see there in Rattray White's car, the Gold X, Vermilion X coaching. So they do look very, very good in the black, gold, and white.
Yeah, definitely a well-regarded colour combination, and for very good reason. We'll see what Rattray White can do from the front row here, because he's certainly been bringing his form up as of recent. Rattray White's been one of those drivers over the last few years that's really dipped his toes into a lot of different stuff. You know, he runs V8s mostly, a little bit of touring car and GT racing as well, but largely limiting it to V8 touring cars and sprint cars, and he's getting better by the week in these things. We'll see how well he can match Ethan Winter.
And the two top 5 will progress into the A main, so we're not going to miss out on too many drivers from our starting groups making it through to the A main. So only 2 drivers will miss out going through to the A straight away, and we'll take 4 into the A main. We get ready to get underway. No, second lap. Put me off guard there. The rest of the races will be a 1 lap pace. Start zone is also relatively late when you compare it to other circuits. So to the actual straight and around the pit entry marker is the start zone for tonight. So drivers won't be able to jump too early and get these races underway. They will have to strategize where they're going to start.
Yep, there won't be any big getaways, I think, like we've seen at previous rounds. The start zone also ends at the break in the wall on the inside coming out of turn 4. So that's the point that Ethan Winter will be looking at. They're about to enter the start zone as we speak. See the pit lane peel off there, and away we go. Ethan Winter goes early, and Zach Rattray White is left in the dust as we're racing for the first time here at Lakeland. John Schultz on the inside of Rattray White making moves, and Rattray White is dropping hard. He's down to 4th, will now be under threat from Casey Simons. He's running high, but it doesn't seem to be working out for him.
No, he's had a horrible launch, horrible getaway, and now struggling to maintain himself into that top 5. Will hold 5th position now as Simons gets on through, but Ethan Winter, great launch. He's now pulled a full 2nd on the rest of the field. Rattray White now back into 5th, and he's losing a little bit of ground to Corey Borden behind. May not be able to close that gap down, but Borden will be pushing hard to try and close it.
Yeah, Borden's already made up the position on Luke Payton there, dropped him to last as the number 17 of Zach Rattray White now fancies a move up the inside of Casey Simons. It looks like he's made a couple of onboard adjustments and the car is back in good hands. Let's see if Casey can hold on to his position in the top 5, because for now, still running faster laps than Borden and Payton behind. Winter is getting away, but everyone from 2nd to 5th is within a second of each other.
The next group, from, as you said, 2nd to 5th is relatively close, and we're going to see a lot of racing like this tonight. We're going to see drivers maintain the gaps around that half second and then close down very, very quickly towards the end of races. You can see in the corner, Zach Rattray White very, very quick in comparison to Nathan Norman. Norman lost a huge amount of ground in the approach to turn 3.
Yeah, not sure what's going on for Norman there. Oh, that might be a clue. He's getting a little too slidey on the exits of the corners here. The onboard view from Rattray White's front bumper is going to tell a bit more of that story as we're on the penultimate lap now. And, you see how sideways he's getting. He's lost a lot of momentum there, but crucially, got the car gripped up right when he needed to. And he'll be right on the back again of his teammate. Norman versus Rattray White for the last spot on the podium in this heat. But there is no catching Ethan Winter. Up ahead, he will take the first couple of turns and get ready for a great start to the night. Victory for the number 39 in Heat 1.
Yep. And dominant as well. Great launch at the start of the race to get away from the field and just able to take advantage of the pace that he gathered at the start. Wins by over 2 seconds in the end from John Schultz. Great result from him. John will be very, very happy with the second. He now will get us a chance to start on pole when we get to the wheel later on. Nathan Norman, Zach Rattray White and Casey Simons also straight through to the A main. Borden and Payton will have to try and get through when we get into the consolation race later on.
Indeed. It is time, though, for Heat 2, and Harry Stewart's going to be on pole for this one alongside Darcy Wilson, Joel Berkeley and Brenton Hobson on row 2, Thomas Mitchell and Trent Gosley on the third row. Seventh and final spot goes to Tim Ryan, second in the championship, and as a penalty from last round, not taking part in the quick time. So he's got a lot of work to do here if he wants to get his night back on track. He only needs to gain 2 positions to find himself in that window, but it'll be a bit difficult because this field's looking pretty stacked.
It's very stacked, Heat, isn't it? And I was about to say, you took the words out of my mouth, that it's not going to be easy for him. Who does he get past? Hobson's not going to give up a spot. Mitchell's not going to give up a spot easy. Trent Gosley, he loves to fight as well, so Ryan's really going to have to work hard for this. Stewart, Wilson, Berkeley, Hobson, Mitchell, Gosley, Ryan. What a field this is. This is almost an all-star race.
Yeah, sort of feels like that, doesn't it? Fantastic stuff. This is, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the battles that may come from the next 8 laps of racing. Back down to 1 formation lap for the rest of the night. And now we wait to see when Harry Stewart decides to put the power down. Wait for the wall to split right there. And now we're in the start zone, but Stewart's waiting, and away he goes. Nice straight exit. And look at Joel Berkeley. He was right on that. That's already demoted Darcy Wilson to third spot as Tim Ryan up the inside there, gaining 2 spots almost instantly. Side by side with Gosley now into turn 3. He's going to get Hobson as well as Berkeley goes for the lead over Harry Stewart, and there's contact behind. Oh, that is massive. That's Thomas Mitchell and Trent Gosley that have come together, and they've both got pretty significant damage.
And Hobson has just got clear of Ryan and Wilson as well. So Harry Stewart's just had something happen too. There's been an incident between Harry Stewart and Tim Ryan, which is under review from race control.
Oh dear, we might have to find that and go to a replay a bit later when we have the time, because that could be very significant indeed. Tim Ryan, though, up to third, now trying for second, and the lead, say nothing of it. Berkeley and Hobson up top. They are working hard on that high line. They're trying to get it worked in for later on in the night. Everyone seems to have been preferring the inside line for now. Tim Ryan's still working it. As, well, we're going to see what happened to Ryan and Stewart here. Oh, Stewart just cuts down there, and Tim Ryan was already on his inside, but I'm not too sure who, if anyone, should be assigned blame for that. Well, yeah, Ryan is definitely in the lead now.
Yeah, and to me, I think that Harry Stewart's probably brought that on himself a bit more than Tim Ryan's caused that, so I wouldn't be surprised if race control deem it that way. Can confirm that they've deemed the incident that we saw live between Gosley and Mitchell, that has been deemed a racing incident, so no further action there. And it looks like they've also just agreed with what I said. Harry Stewart's the cause of the incident, so no more action. Tim Ryan now leads, and he's pulling a bit of a margin on Joel Berkeley.
Well, second and third in the championship are Tim Ryan and Harry Stewart, and that may set the tone for the remaining rounds of the season from here. Will they get crossed up with each other too much to really provide a challenge to Ethan Winter, or will they be able to move past that and we can find ourselves in a fantastic 3-way battle for the title? Remains to be seen. It's still very early days, but Tim Ryan has been slide jobbing the heck out of this race and running the high line now for sure as he's on the final lap. Berkeley still second, but Hobson could be... No, Hobson's not in trouble from Wilson as Ryan crosses the line to win Heat 2 from the very back.
Great drive from Tim Ryan there. A little bit of controversy, but definitely drove a very, very good race there. So Tim Ryan wins Heat number 2. When you saw that he started in 7th, you probably thought that was unlikely. But then to pull a 1.2 second advantage in the end, that's incredible. So Ryan, Berkeley, Hobson, Wilson and Mitchell go straight through into the A main. Gosley and Stewart into our B main coming up very soon. Heat number 3.
It's going to be headed up by Josh Barry with Bradley Oldfield alongside. That is a great front row right there. Brady Baldwin, our series administrator and league owner of Oceanic Dirt Sim Events, sharing the second row with Cameron De Bruin, with Tristo Yelland and Travis Parrott, 5th and 6th. All on his own at the back, Sean Stevens, the other driver who had penalties from last round and thus was not permitted to take part in the quick time session. Now, Stevens is a pretty fast driver himself, so I'm expecting him to work hard at trying to find his way up this field.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sean Stevens is definitely looking to make advantage and take opportunities of getting positions here. But, gee, it's stacked at the front, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Barry and Oldfield, they'll be extremely happy with their results. And then you got Baldwin and De Bruin in there. You got Yelland and Parrott, the battle of the Travises. They always find themselves together, the Travises together. Tristan and Travis. Tristo and Travis Parrott, they find themselves together all the time. Sean Stevens, as we said, he'll try and make his way forward. No easy positions, though, in this series. We've seen, again, that the fields are stacked. Sure, we've got a smaller field, but they're still absolutely action-packed the whole way through.
Yeah, indeed. I think that really speaks to the quality of drivers that are taking part in this invitational series. We're in the start zone now, and down goes the power for Josh Barry. Little bit of wheel spin off the get-go, though, which means he doesn't have quite the advantage he'd like over Oldfield and Baldwin as they enter turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Cameron De Bruin and Sean Stevens already trading spots there. Stevens losing a bit of momentum, and it looks to me like, oh, wow, that was a big incident there for Tristo Yelland. Amazing that everyone found their way around him.
He was so sideways there, and he almost lost the car and was able to hold on. No one made contact with him. He was sideways through the middle of the circuit. And drivers just pincer moved him while he was sitting facing the wrong direction, but we continue on. Of course, no cautions in the heats. Bradley Oldfield trying his hardest to get past Josh Barry, but not quite able to do it. Going to slide it up the inside here, and Barry's going to have to give up the spot, it looks like, or maybe not.
Oh, look, here comes Brady Baldwin. He's going to get himself right into this lead battle. This is fantastic stuff.
And you can see there, he just got too crossed up, lost too much momentum in the mid-corner, and has given up a couple of tenths. You can see the speed now that these guys are doing. The speeds have dropped around about 20 kilometres an hour from what we saw in the quick time session. But this battle for the lead is absolutely on. The battle for the transfer spot too is heated between the 4 remaining drivers in this. Tristo might be back a bit, but he's not out of it. Cameron De Bruin's battling here with Travis Parrott for the 5th position, and the lead is just changing neck and neck again.
Yep, Josh Barry getting up into the wall a little bit there, and Bradley Oldfield will send it up the inside again, but Barry will cut back under him, and they'll be side by side across the line to start the 6th lap of this 8-lap heat. Sean Stevens, meanwhile, is, a little too deep there for Barry. Oldfield is now ahead, and Baldwin is catching up. Stevens and De Bruin have now left behind Tristo Yelland and Travis Parrott, and I think the battle for the transfer might be over from there. Barry isn't done, though. He's going to try and slide Oldfield the same way Oldfield slid him.
I'll tell you what, Tristo and Travis, they want to keep battling because this could end in tears as they just about into the wheels. It almost did there. 1 lap to go. Who's going to take the win? I'll tell you what, I don't know who it's going to be. Brady Baldwin could steal the win at this rate because these two are battling so hard.
Oh, that's a lot of speed that was taken in there by Josh Barry, and now Baldwin's going to have a go here. Oldfield switches to the outside, covers Baldwin. They make a bit of contact, and Baldwin is going to spin around on the run up to the line. Oldfield with a compromised exit. Does Josh Barry have enough time? He does not. Bradley Oldfield wins Heat 3.
Right,
Josh
nice.
Barry made it up to within 0.2 of a second. Wow, that was awesome. I loved that.
That was one of the best heats we've seen in a long time in this series. So Oldfield and Barry only a 1/10.5 separating them, but a couple of laps before, the actual gap at the line was within a 1/10 of a second. So incredible. Those guys had a great battle there. Brady Baldwin holds on for 3rd, Sean Stevens in 4th, Cameron De Bruin in 5th, and Tristo and Travis will see them in the B main coming up very soon.
Well, before we see the B main, we have to go through the fourth and final heat. It's Jaden Russell and Kobe Noonan on the front row, Leeson and Ryan on row 2, Nash Granger and Daniel Nickel 5th and 6th, and all on a lonesome on the 7th spot, Zach Felon for Synergy Sim Racing.
Great to see Zach back. We haven't seen him in a few weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while. Well, Synergy's going to be bookending this field with Jaden Russell leading the way. Always look forward to seeing Jaden out there on track as well. Only very recently this year took his first feature win in ODSE competition after a few years of trying. So we'll see what he can do from here.
Of course, as we said, this is the final heat before we get into the consolation race. One consolation tonight, no C main, just the B main. We'll have 8 drivers in that race, and the top 4 will take the final 4 spots in our main event tonight. There's some names already in that consolation race that are going to be very, very contested at the front. So who joins them? But that was a really good start from Noonan, but not a great getaway from Nick Bryan.
And also Zach Felon at the back of the field, running into the wall there. And this has really compressed the battle for second, hasn't it? Noonan, Leeson, Ryan and Granger all together. Ryan and Leeson side by side, but great getaway for Jaden Russell at the end of the first lap. Nick Ryan's going to push him though, and it is on for 5th place. Nash Granger and Daniel Nickel trading positions there. It looks like Nash has managed to get ahead there in the number 25, the 18 down the bottom. Let's see what they can do as go together. Oh no, it's Bailey Leeson and Nick Ryan, and they have fallen outside the top 5. That little coming together, they were well within the transfer spot. They've just thrown that away.
Yeah, and there was also contact there between Daniel Nickel and Zach Felon just after that as well at the exit of turn 2. So you saw Felon there was a bit slow. He and Daniel Nickel tripped over each other alongside Nash Granger. So race control are looking at that. Looks like Bailey Leeson may have been given the cause of that incident. So it's play on, self-penalising incident. Zach Felon now, he's in that top 5. He's just got to hold on.
Yeah, that he does. Still got about 4/10 or so ahead to Daniel Nickel there, but he's catching up. And this could be the move. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great move up the inside. Nailed the exit, but going a bit deep there through turn 4. Might just trade places a couple more times from here. It's been a pretty gentle race for Jaden Russell. Very quiet one, which I think he'll be glad for.
100%. And as you said, the position still transferring between these guys. Felon now through on Nickel again. See if Daniel Nickel will take it back once more. We're taking the inside this time, but not able to get the move done. Felon took the inside through 3 and 4 and was able to get the move done. So looks like the lines are definitely starting to alternate a little bit. Drivers are starting to explore, especially in this heat, ready for the A main.
Yeah, I'm noticing that in the battle for the lead as well, because Kobe Noonan's running a bit more mid to low through the corners now. Jaden Russell sticking high, but I don't think there's going to be enough of a chance here for Noonan to make that time up, or is there? Oh, yeah, it got close at the end, but ultimately it works out in Russell's favour.
That actually was a closer finish in the end than what we saw in that previous heat. 1.3 tenths in the end. Kobe Noonan behind Jaden Russell. Nash Granger, didn't see much of him. He had a very quiet race with Zach Felon and Daniel Nickel rounding out the field that will progress straight away. Nick Ryan and Bailey Leeson, we'll see them right now in our consolation race.
Yeah, we absolutely will. 10 laps on the board, and Corey Borden and Trent Gosley will line up first off with Tristo Yelland and Nick Ryan on row 3. Luke Payton and Harry Stewart 5th and 6th, with Parrott, Lee and Leeson rounding out our field. It's been a hot minute since we saw Harry Stewart in a consolation race.
Yeah, it's not too common that we see. Even Trent Gosley as well, he's not usually in these. He usually finds himself at the back end of the A main field, so he'll be wanting to get through. But yeah, Harry Stewart, that's huge. Considering where he is in the championship, for him to be in this race, he'll be trying his hardest to make sure that he doesn't find himself out of the night.
Yeah, it'll be tough for sure for Harry Stewart, especially starting from back in sixth position. It's going to be tough to work his way up through these guys, but if he can place his car just right on the opening lap, he might be able to work his way up. Remember, it's the top 4 from this consolation that transfer through to the feature. You finish 5th or further back, you are out. You'll take no further part in this night of racing.
Yep. Top 4 only to progress through. So you've got to make sure that you get a result. And I think tonight with the smaller field, I think everyone is thinking they're a legitimate chance of making it through to the A main. So a chance for some drivers that may not get a huge chunk of points to really grab some. As away we go, good jump from Borden, good jump from everyone, to be honest.
Yeah, everyone was right on it there. So Corey Borden will lead the way into turn 1. Harry Stewart's working the outside. You see him in the number 11 behind the 4 and the 52. Easy does it. Through turns 3 and 4, lap 1 of 10 complete here, and look at the moves round the outside. Stewart moves past Leeson, Nick Ryan moves past Trent Gosley, seeing that there might have been an issue for no wait, Tristan Yellen's just taken the lead of the heat. Of the consolation. Yeah, that's a fantastic drive there from Tristo. He's taking advantage of everyone battling behind, all trying to get into the top 4. Now Gosley's going to move to the inside and make contact with Borden, sends him into the wall.
And I was about to say too, Harry Stewart was about to take a couple of positions, got heavily checked up on that previous lap. But yeah, Borden now, he is done. His race over. An investigation between he and Trent Gosley in that incident. Race control will have to make a decision before the end of this one, but Harry Stewart finds himself in that top 4. Make that top 3. Beautiful around the outside.
Yep, and the decision's been quick from race control. Trent Gosley just given a black flag, so he will take no further part in this, but oh no, slowing down, he's actually involved Luke Payton and Travis Parrott in an incident. It looked like they came together when Gosley was slowing up. That's a real shame there. So that means there's only 5 cars remaining in the race, potentially 4 if Parrott's too damaged, but Harry Stewart is now well into the top 4. He, Nick Ryan and Bailey Leeson are too busy fighting amongst themselves to catch Tristo Yelland.
Yeah, and Tristo will be loving what's going on behind him. He's just able to check out. He's not as quick as these guys, but as you said, they're battling too hard to be able to gain any time on him. So, see to Luke Payton, his race done, he's out for the night. Gosley, as we said, he's out as well. Borden's out, and Travis Parrott's just holding on in the hope that someone makes a mistake and puts it in the wall.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to.
The way the night's gone, it's plausible that it could happen.
Yeah, certainly. I'm just watching very intently to see if there's any sign of something going wrong. And you never know, with Harry Stewart still working the wall on the outside the way he is. And seems Nick Ryan and Bailey Leeson making contact. Easy does it. Once again, they're slowing each other up a bit, and Leeson will fall to 4th spot. He'll try and get back past Stewart, but I gotta wonder, considering how far behind Travis Parrott is, why don't you just back off and take the top 4?
Yeah, what's the difference as well? You're going to start 23rd or 24th either way, so it's probably not worth fighting for. Make sure you actually finish the race, as Parrott is about to go a lap down as well. Tristo gets the white flag to start the final lap, and I'll tell you what, this will be a very, very excited Tristo if he can manage to hold on for this win.
Indeed. One more turn to go, and committing to the lower line there was Nick Ryan, but Tristo Yelland out of the final corner will take the win in the B main. The consolation goes to the number 23, and Tristo will be right happy with that one.
100% he will. Picks up the win. Nick Ryan will finish in second. Harry Stewart and Bailey Leeson will be the last 2 to progress. Parrott, Payton, Borden and Gosley, their night is done. But now the fun begins.
Indeed it does. Say hello to our little friend, the spinny wheel. We're going to see how the top 8 stack up, a random grid draw. And we're just waiting on the first driver to make their way into the comms box with us. Not sure exactly who it is, but apparently we're hearing that Brady Baldwin is not able to move people into the channel for us, so that might need a little fixing. So we shall see how this all works out from here, while a couple of things get fixed in the background, and we can shortly say hello to our first driver. Remember, the way this works is there's the top 2 in each heat. They'll be moved through to the grid draw, and we'll decide who starts from 1st to 8th. So it looks like the first driver we're going to be talking to is Ethan Winter. Well, there's the whole gamut of the top 8 to decide from, Ethan. I'm sure you'd be hoping for one up the front.
Yeah, I can hope for the 1 pill, but honestly, the track is so racy at the moment. I don't think it matters where I start. I should be able to find the front, or towards the front, hopefully.
Well, you are going to be at the front, 2nd place on the grid for you, so outside first row.
No, I'll like that. Yeah, that's good.
All right, Ethan Winter is going to be starting 2nd place for the Siclids Lakeland Challenge. Next up, Tim Ryan. All right, Tim, well, you overcame your barring from the quick time, and you found your way into the grid draw once again, and it looks like it's going to be 7th spot for you on the grid.
Oh, well, that's all right. I didn't qualify. So I think the track will honestly race quite well, actually. I think different parts of the race you'll see cars on the top and bottom, so hopefully you can keep the car clean, and we'll see how we go.
Of course, Tim Ryan starting from 7th spot, and he's right. The racing has been working out very nicely so far. Bradley Oldfield is up next, so all positions except for 2nd and 7th. There's a lot to play for here, Bradley. Gotta wonder which place is going to be yours. It's going to be 4th spot.
Better than 8, so play that.
All right, excellent stuff. Bradley Oldfield's going to start P4 for the Lakeland Challenge. Next up is Jaden Russell. One of the first times we've seen you in one of these, Jaden. What are you going to be hoping for?
I'm just happy to be in the redraw. It's pretty cool. Hasn't been the best season for me qualifying and heat racing wise, so to be up here is pretty good.
Well, you're going to get 5th place for your troubles on the grid inside 3rd row.
Sweet, we'll see what we can do.
Lovely stuff. And another driver that we're going to hear for the first time in the grid draw is John Schultz. Finally, some success for you here in Lakeland, John. We don't seem to have John Schultz at the moment. Evidently some issues with the microphone there. But what I can tell you, John, is you're going to be starting in 8th spot. So best of luck from here. And with that, we bring in Joel Berkeley. Let's see where you end up, Joel. Pole position is an option. 3rd or 6th are the others.
Well, hopefully it's pole, but it'll probably be 6th.
Well, we'll see. The grid draw will spin the wheel, and looking for the big yellow wedge, it's going to be the big pink wedge of 6th spot. You're right again. You were right about your grid draw spot at a round before, weren't you?
Yeah. I think I said the back row, so yeah. Typical.
Oh, dear. Well, Joel Berkeley starts from 6th spot, and, well, Josh Barry, it's either 1st or 3rd that are your options.
Another 1st for me, please, mate.
All right, fingers crossed for Josh Barry. What's it going to be? The wheel slows down and it's 3rd, Josh.
We'll take it. Thanks, mate.
Inside 2nd row, still pretty good. And that means that pole position is going to be Kobe Noonan. Congratulations, Kobe. You've got pole for the Lakeland Challenge.
Oh, wow. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but I'll definitely take that.
Of course. How do you think the track's going to go throughout the course of this heat? I'm hearing a lot of positive vibes from the drivers about how the racing's going to go.
Yeah, the track feels really racy, so hopefully it keeps going that way and we get multiple grooves of racing, and fingers crossed I can keep it up the front this time.
All right, well, we'll leave you to finish your preparations. Kobe, thanks very much for joining us. That's going to conclude the grid draw. Tell you what, Jay, this is gearing up to be one heck of a night.
What a mix-up that's caused too. It's so cool, the redraw. Some drivers love it, some drivers hate it, and even Tim was right in saying he didn't even qualify, so even getting into the redraw is good enough. So he sort of predicted his spot though, and for Joel to actually call his spot again, that's 2 from 2.
Yeah.
The last 2 times he's been here for that, he's called his position. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. We're about to get into it though.
We are indeed. Checkered flag flies in the warm-up session, and we move on through to the 25-lap feature here at USA International Speedway. A track lost to time, but it lives on in digital form and even takes forms that it never took in the real world. So, starting on pole position, of course, will be Kobe Noonan. Winter will join him on the front row, championship leader. Barry and Oldfield on row 2. Russell and Berkeley on row 3. Ryan and Schultz on the 4th row of the grid. And everyone from 9th on back will be Norman and Hobson rounding out the top 10, with Brady Baldwin and Nash Granger starting 11th and 12th.
Yeah, from there we go back to Zach Rattray-White and Darcy Wilson, with Sean Stevens and Zach Fallon next on that row, with Casey Simons and Thomas Mitchell. Last 2 drivers that made it through from their heats were De Bruin and Nickel. And then from our consolation race, Tristo Yallen, Nick Bryan, Harry Stewart and Bailey Leeson rounding out a 24-car field for one of the longest races we will see all season long. But then again, it's also one of the shortest, only 25 laps. But as we said, the longest track in the schedule. The racing will be action-packed with these huge long straights.
Yeah, this track is 3/4 of a mile in length, and I don't think there's many dirt ovals in the real world that reach that kind of length. So it's always great to see a little bit of a spanner in the works in the form of USA. You see that there's a bit more build-up of dirt up at the top now. You're going to be seeing drivers running the extreme high line for sure, trying to find some grip up there, but I think they'll be wary of the slick coming off the turns here. It's interesting, usually you see a lot of slick on the entry to corners at most dirt ovals, but here at USA, seems like the exits are where the rubber really gets laid down.
Probably the difference as well from it being a standard oval track as opposed to a permanent dirt facility. The way that the dirt does build up on the surface is probably a little bit different in that aspect. I'm not sure, I could be completely wrong, but that would be my guess.
It's a guess that's as good as any, as the drivers will certainly be guessing on which is the best line to take. We saw drivers working the extreme low line early on, then moving up to extreme high. Then we saw drivers start to work the middle in the latter heats and the consolation. Where will the drivers end up racing when we come to the green flag in just a few moments' time? It's Ethan Winter versus Kobe Noonan on the front row here for the Siclids Lakeland Challenge, round 11 of the Oceanic Dirt Sim Events Australian Sprintcar Championship, and we are away. Noonan struggles a little bit to keep the car straight off the line, but we are through into the first turn. Winter will try and stake his claim here. Tim Ryan running the extreme inside, catching the grass there in the blue car, trying to make up positions, and he gets up the inside of Oldfield as Winter will take the lead from Kobe Noonan.
Great job from Ethan Winter to make that slide job work, and contact there between Jaden Russell and Josh Barry out of turn 4 for third position. As Tim Ryan starting to close in 3 wide at the exit of turn 2, and contact there, Jaden Russell around.
That's massive.
We stay green.
Yes.
Nope, there it is.
No, yep, there it is indeed. Oh, that's a shame there for Jaden Russell. He He had a fantastic first lap or so, but just got a bit too sideways in between turns 1 and 2, and then came together with Josh Barry on the exit of turn 2 there. I'm going to get another view of it here.
Just there, out of turn 4, there was contact between them two already, so side by side here, there's a little bit of a rut that forms, and I think just as he got the power down, they've just sort of both flowed into each other, and then, that pink car made contact. Is that Berkeley, potentially, that made a little bit of contact with the front?
Yeah, maybe, but regardless, I think it's miraculous that we didn't see a further huge incident from that. Fortunately for the likes of Jaden Russell, it is within the first 10 laps of the race, so you are able to come into the pits for a fast repair if you so desire, but after the first 10 laps you will no longer be allowed to do that. Here's the view from Berkeley. We're going to see all of this happen here, and that was close.
Yeah, no contact, but yeah, as you said, very, very close, and no surprise, Jaden Russell's been given an end-of-line penalty, so back to the end of the field he goes. It's probably one of the easier penalties to give out. He did cause the caution, self-inflicted, but also gets a penalty of dropping to the back as well.
Yep, end-of-line penalty for the number 27 as we get ready to potentially form back up on this lap. Ethan Winter taking the lead from Kobe Noonan. And I think he'll have an iron grip on this now. Great job from Tim Ryan as well. He's managed to work his way up into 4th spot already. And it'll certainly be interesting to see where he can go from there. Harry Stewart, meanwhile, hasn't made much of a move forward. Started down in 23rd place, but is only up to 21st. I would have expected him to make a little more progress than that.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised too, but in saying that back was very, very heated, action-packed, 4 wide, right at the back of the field, so probably a little bit difficult to get moves done until the field spreads out a little. But remember, his key rivals currently sitting 1st and 4th, so he'll be hoping he can gain some ground on those guys as we get ready to go green again.
Down goes the power for Ethan Winter, and we are away. The 39 comes across as there's a big wheelie there. Did you see that from Nathan Norman? My God!
That was a huge, huge wheelie to start with. And Norman,
I've never seen that on the sim before.
Not that big. I've seen wheelies, but nothing like that. He just kept the power into it too, and somehow has gained 3 positions from where he started that restart. Restarted in 6th. He's now up into 3rd. With 2 wheels on the wagon for half of that first lap.
That's amazing. Nathan Norman. Oh, put your hands together for him as behind him. Oh, it's going off. Kobe Noonan's dropping now. And he's just been made contact with by Tim Ryan on the inside there. He's going to fall back, but we do stay green. Brady Baldwin and Joel Berkeley will be side by side here, all fighting for that last spot in the top 4. Now Tim Ryan's going to try and advance forward. He and Joel Berkeley have battled together on track for years, and Ryan running a little bit wide there, but I think he's just going to be able to hold on to it. Can they catch up to Nathan Norman and Josh Barry?
Yeah, well, Winter's pulled a 2nd now, so Ethan Winter starting to pull a big gap. There's battles here. Again, Harry Stewart cannot make inroads at all. He just keeps getting stuck behind a driver, has to check up, loses all his momentum. He's only up to 19th, so he's really struggling to make inroads at all. Just look at that pack just in front of him.
Yeah, getting up the inside of Sean Stevens there. I'm surprised they didn't make contact there. But this pack is ridiculous. Headed up by the number 5 of Darcy Wilson, who just makes his way past Zach Rattray White. I'm just looking for Stewart in the middle of all of this. This battle goes all the way from 9th to 16th, and Harry Stewart isn't far behind. Russell trying to keep up the momentum there in the number 27. Zach Rattray White gets into the wall, and now it's up to Russell to try and find his way to Bailey Leeson as, stuck in the wall there for Zach Rattray White. Oh, hello. Side by side between Tim Ryan and Nathan Norman now for 3rd spot.
Yeah, so Norman's lost a bit of ground there and lost a bit of pace. And Tim Ryan starting to make that outside or middle line work. It's great to see that every single part of the racetrack is working for different drivers at this point. You can't say that one line is working it over anything else at the moment. Zach Ratro White into the pits. His car is obviously fairly damaged from hitting the wall.
Yeah, well, it was lap 10 when he came in, so he'll be clear to take that fast repair. Bradley Oldfield and Joel Berkeley trading spots there. Berkeley's the purple car, Oldfield the number 51 there, and John Schultz having a pretty good race at the moment. John is keeping himself in the top 8, as that's a big trouble there for Wyobi Racing's Sean Stevens. He'll fall off the back, but another caution will bring him back into the fray. Now Tim Ryan is up to 3rd, and he's chasing down Josh Barry, but Ethan Winter is too far ahead for Ryan to make up that gap in the remainder of the race. If we stay green, he'll be counting on a caution as well.
Here comes Ryan looking up the inside. Will he be able to get it done? I think he will. No, hasn't quite got the momentum on the exit. Josh Barry will hold on to the spot. Josh has done a great job tonight, regardless of if he can hold on or not. I think this is a standout performance for Josh Barry. His best performance of the year by far.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Josh. His form has been turning up in recent months, and he's really come prepared to fight here at USA International Speedway. Yeah, a little bit of trouble there indeed for Berkeley. Oldfield's found his way past. Berkeley will dip to the inside as Darcy Wilson in the number 5 is going to take advantage of all of this melee. John Schultz right in the midst of all of this as well. He's moved out of the top 8 by Joel Berkeley.
Yeah, Oldfield doing a great job. He's been one of the biggest movers in the field. Haley Leeson, though, the biggest mover of the lot. Remember, he was the last qualifier into this heat. He's currently up into 11th position, plus 13.
That's a fantastic job from the driver of the number 52. We'll see how much further he can make his way up as he's battling with Casey Simons for 11th now. Tim Ryan still not able to find a way past Josh Barry here. We have 10 laps to go in this feature. Brady Baldwin still holding on to 4th spot, but he's getting chased down by Norman, Oldfield, Wilson, Schultz and Berkeley. And up the inside goes Nathan Norman. Baldwin has to give him room there on the inside. Does the slide job work? It does for the moment, but Baldwin's going to send one up the inside at turn 3. Wilson keeping Oldfield behind him. He'll be looking at this and licking his lips.
I'll tell you what, Darcy Wilson's taking advantage of this, because you just saw their big checkup for Nathan Norman as Baldwin got that slide job done. And Darcy Wilson on the inside was able to maintain his momentum. This battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, well and truly on. The battle for 2nd and 3rd, sure, they're changing position a lot, but they're just running different lines and not really doing slide jobs or anything like that. So it's not as exciting as that battle we were watching there, as now Brady Baldwin back to 6th.
Yep, Darcy Wilson's still running the inside line, and look at this as he comes out of the corner. Bam! There's a big bump there. That is what sent Nathan's car up on 2 wheels earlier. Yeah, that's exactly what happened there. He ran over the very same bump, so he needs to be careful there, running on the extreme inside through the corners. But it looks like Baldwin and Berkeley have decided it's time to follow in his wheel tracks.
And there's also been trouble for Harry Stewart. He is out of the race.
Oh no.
Harry Stewart has quit the race from this incident here. So coming in, he's hit the wall,
it's just not turning,
and he's just alt F4'd.
Yeah, you hit the wall coming out of turn 4 there, and I think that broke his front right connecting arm, so no steering in that car coming into the next turn. In any case, he's going to be in trouble if those results continue. Remember, he was 3rd in the championship coming into this round. Just a round to forget for Harry Stewart. Then we'll keep our eyes peeled with 4 laps to go now. The number 27 of Jaden Russell can do, already having some issues in this feature just before, but he's managed to fight his way back up to 10th place. He's doing quite well at the moment. This is a great recovery.
Yeah, 100%. Really good recovery from where he was, so we'll be hoping that he can gain a bit more over this one. And I also just want to point out that Josh Barry has started to pull a bit of a gap, or had started to pull a bit of a gap on Tim Ryan, but Ryan's starting to come back. There's 2 laps to go when we get to the line as well, so this battle for the podium, wowee, it's on, as Barry may have just cost himself that with that hit on the wall. 2 to go right now.
Yeah, he just fed the right rear into the wall there, and we're starting to see lap traffic be a factor. That's Sean Stevens with them at the moment. Tim Ryan, who's now taken second place, will move on past. What can Josh Barry do to try and get second place back? He needs to keep an eye out for Darcy Wilson, who's looking very quick on the inside line. 1 lap to go for our leader, Ethan Winter. Tim Ryan will keep him very honest, but the gap will remain at about 7/10 of a second, as this man has once again shown he is the leader of the championship for a damn good reason. Ethan Winter takes the feature win here at Lakeland.
Well done, Josh Barry. Podium position tonight. He will be ecstatic with that result. And the fact we only ended up with that 1 caution for the night, that's absolutely brilliant. So that was such a good night of racing. Congratulations, Ethan Winter. Winner again.
Yep. Ethan Winter's having an incredible 2024, and it's amazing to see the heights that he is reaching. That number 39 has looked absolutely dialed in every single round this season. And, well, have to say, aside from Winter, who, you know, what have we said about him that we haven't already said? The likes of Tim Ryan making his way back up. That's the Tim Ryan that we know. He's been a bit patchier in 2024, hasn't had as much time behind the wheel, but goodness me, making his way up to second from not taking part in the quick time session all the way at the start of the night. That's worth talking about. Darcy Wilson, meanwhile, the number 5, started in 14th place, and he gets a top 5 for his troubles.
Such a great night of racing, and biggest mover of the lot, Bailey Leeson, ends up finishing 12th, but gains 12 positions in the race overall. So great job from him as well. So what a night of racing. You get the results.
Yep. These are your unofficial results after 25 laps of racing. Ethan Winter by 0.6 of a second over Tim Ryan, who battled with Josh Barry for many laps for that second place on the podium. Wilson up to 4th. Berkeley finishes in at the top 5, with Nathan Norman popping a wheelie on his way to 6th place. Bradley Oldfield will finish in 7th spot. He'll be happy with that. Solid points total for today. Jaden Russell with a great recovery. He was all the way at the back when the caution came out, and then worked his way back up to 8th. John Schultz in the number 78. Top 10 for John. The Pace Syndicate driver will certainly be happy with that one. And Casey Simons will round out our top 10.
Yeah, from there we go back to Brady Baldwin and Bailey Leeson. Not much between them in the end. Brent Hobson in 13th, Kobe Noonan 14th, and Nash Granger and Nick Ryan. Nothing between those guys at the line. Cam De Bruin, Zach Fallon, Thomas Mitchell and Daniel Nickel. And then Tristo Yallen, last driver on the lead lap. Sean Stevens finishes 1 lap down. Harry Stewart, DNFs with 7 laps remaining. Zach Ratro White we saw in the pits right near the halfway point of the race. It's time to have a chat to a few drivers.
Yes, indeed. And who should we talk to first but Ethan Winter, who had another pretty much perfect feature. Started in second, Ethan, but he certainly made the move where it counted. And once you got into clear air, it looked like the car was untouchable.
Yeah, that was tough work. The shout out to the boys, Lockie and Colin, for calling the lines. They were changing constantly. Like, start in the middle there, went to the top, then Tim's running the bottom late. Fortunately, we didn't get a caution there because the car was going away pretty quickly at the end. But yeah, I'll take it.
Well, as long as the car is fast for the 25 laps required of it and no more, then I suppose that's the perfect way to end it off. Well, another win on the board for you in 2024. This is looking like a really good year for you, and Limaland being the next round, it's pretty much the polar opposite in terms of tracks. Are you looking forward to going back to the short stuff?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident with Limaland. I always run well there, and recently running there in officials and whatnot, it's been a really racy track, so it could be racing this season, to be honest. The track's that good, but I guess we'll see it in 2 weeks' time.
And we'll see if that prediction is proven correct. Before we let you go, Ethan, is there anyone else you'd like to give a shout out to for your performance tonight?
Yeah, obviously thanks to Brady, Liam, Race Control, Damon, and DM Photography. Thanks obviously to SimSpeed. Obviously, thanks to Chris at Siclids for coming on board and sponsoring this event. Like, these things wouldn't happen if we didn't have sponsors every week, so big thanks to him. And also thanks to my sponsors, Focus Built Sprints, District 23 Suspension Engineering, Pace Graphics, Joey Lingren Photography, and all the Vortex guys who jump in and we elevate each other every week. So I'm keen to see where that thing goes in the future.
Yep, Vortex Sim Sport on top, and for good reason. That's Ethan Winter there, winning the feature. Second place was the number 98 Altus entry of Tim Ryan. Well, Tim, back on the podium once more, but this was a rare case of you having to work your way up all through the night.
Yeah, it was a solid night overall. Obviously, with the penalty, I've had a few incidents, obviously, so that's what it's there for, just to put you to the rear. So started off the rear, had a bit of luck in the heat race, and then drew out of the hat again. Went backwards there. Then in the feature, it raced really well. The track was good. Ethan was just too strong, and had a bit too much of a gap.
Well, regardless, it looked like a fantastic battle with Josh Barry. Ethan was talking about how the lines were changing pretty much every single lap. You were one of the guys who ran very tight early on, and you seem to still be a fan of that low line at points in the feature.
Yeah, I had no idea where to run, honestly. I was searching everywhere. Probably 3/4 through the race, I lost my momentum a little bit behind Josh. I was saying to him he was driving really well, and I was actually struggling to catch him or even put a move on him as such. Then those last few laps I just kind of went to the bottom, and then I actually wasn't hitting it too well, so I think the bottom was just definitely the place to be. Probably wish I did that probably 10 laps earlier and was hitting it a little bit better, because that was definitely the line. But in honesty, if I ran it earlier, Ethan would have moved down as well, and I think it was just a better line to be running.
Well, regardless, second place is yours and a great haul of championship points. Tim, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Brady for putting on the league, Ethan for the good drive, Josh as well for the good battle, you guys for the broadcast, obviously everyone at ODSE Esports as well. And I'll see you guys next round. I don't know where it is, if you guys will be able to tell me.
Limaland.
Oh, well, that should be alright. Is that 360 or 410, do you know?
Unaware of the exact engine capacity available there.
Yeah, it probably doesn't matter really around there. It's a pretty small track, so 360 is probably similar pace to a 410 around there. Should be a good one. 360, thanks for that, Jay. We'll give it a whirl and see how we come out. Thanks to Siclids for sponsoring the event.
Absolutely. Tim Ryan, second place in an incredible fight with Josh Barry. We're going to get his perspective on that fight now. Josh, Tim Ryan, multiple-time ODSE race winner and champion right behind you. That must have been a lot of pressure to soak up.
A little bit, but I've raced Tim a fair amount now, and we've had some good battles over the years, so I'm kind of used to running with him, and I know that he's going to race me clean, so I generally leave at least the lane, hard but fair. But when I'm confident like that, I feel like I can match it with him.
Yeah, could you match the track? It looked like a lot of drivers weren't quite sure where the grip was.
It did evolve quite a bit. It caught me by surprise early. Me and Ethan sort of pulled a little bit of a gap, so I tried to top a couple of laps and it just wasn't in yet. It gave him that sort of 2-second buffer, and then we sort of held stead for a little bit, and then once the top came in, I sort of made inroads on him and could see him coming back slowly but surely, and the one lap that I could really make a reel on him, I put it in the wall and Tim got by me and got wheel damage, so unfortunately that ended that, but it was a good race up to then. It was good fun.
Yeah, certainly looked fun to watch. It's another podium on the board for you this season, Josh. Are there any tracks to come that jump out of you as places where you might be able to keep that up?
Yeah, when I put in the laps and put in the effort and build the sets to how I like them, I'm pretty confident everywhere. But Limaland's up next, I believe, and that's my track. I've had a few wins there over the years, so I'd like to hopefully get another one in a couple of weeks' time.
Excellent stuff. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, just the usual, mate. You put on a spectacular broadcast, so thanks for all you do. Brady and the guys, obviously with ODSE, and then the Vermilion boys. You know, we're making headways both on the road scene and in the dirt scene, so shout out to them as well.
Fantastic stuff from Josh Barry, third place on the road tonight. And, well, Jay, that's going to conclude proceedings for tonight. The next event, of course, is going to be at Limaland, the First Take Photography Ohio Open. You're going to be able to catch that on the 25th of July, starting from 8:15 p.m. Australian Eastern. Really looking forward to it. Love Limaland. It's another one of those short ovals with progressive banking, super high up the top, and it's the 360s, which always provide great racing.
Going to be a fantastic night, and yeah, as the guy said, it's always a really good track for racing. It's a racer's track, so it's going to be a fun week. In 2 weeks' time, make sure you join us.
Yep, indeed. Thanks very much to all of you out there for watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Kick. We want to give a huge thanks to Siclids, as the drivers said, for coming in as a sponsor of the Lakeland Challenge here at USA International Speedway. Awesome to have you guys on board, and we hope to have you on board in the future. I'm Reese Gardner, Jay Kennedy with me in the comms box. A huge thanks once again to the crew at Oceanic Dirt Sim Events for running this whole show in the first place. We're SimSpeed TV. We'll see you next time.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits in the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race